Yes. Dear Mohammed Saftar Bahti and Arshad Munir. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes, of course, my
Okay.
brother, Baha Ahmed.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, fine. I think this is another session.
Yes. We will continue with your specific session, who moderate by Dr. Saftar Bahti. And I don't know how can I pronounce your surname, sir. I'm sorry. Dear Latiba Hanım and Disha Mittal and Fiza Said.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before we start, I will introduce our great moderator, Mr. Saftar, Mohammed Saftar Bahati. He's an ELT expert with 26 years IELTS and TFL teaching and training experience. He has widely published in numerous peer-reviewed research journals, authored 4 books, supervised extensively, has delivered keynote and plenary speeches at various international forums. He has conducted and attends course of ELT workshops and seminars within the country. He has been awarded honorary doctorate in ELT and applied linguistic by an American university due to his remarkable services in the field of ELT. And he is recipient of National Human Rights Professional Award 2016 by IHRO, Islamabad, Pakistan. He is also awarded Certificate of Pride and Honor by Arab Translators Association Palestine. He is among 128 intellectuals, educators, and scholars from over the world who got this certificate. ARTA has also awarded him Academic Excellence Award. He is recipient of Global Edu Leaders Award by International Internship University, India. And he currently is teaching in the Islamia University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. Sir, if you are ready, you can start.
Yes, sir. I am ready. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, ji. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank the coordinator, Mr. Ahmed Yalmez, for introducing me so nicely. And the topic of my talk is one saying is worth 100 words, effects of aviates on ESL learners' vocabulary skills. And that is the brief sketch of my talk. Respected audience, language is something we use. It is a skill subject and the basis of language is practice. Human beings need a language to communicate with the people of the world. For this purpose, there is a dire need of a language of international level. Obviously, English has won this status and has become a source of communication among the people of different parts of the world. Its knowledge is a successful passport for employment. Teacher has great importance to make his students proficient in English language skills. A teacher can play a significant and positive role in this regard, so he should have command over his subject and possess a great deal of knowledge. The last few decades have witnessed how fast the world has evolved into a global village. Recently, AV aids are being used frequently in the classrooms to make the teaching learning process easy, attractive, and interesting. Dear audience, as language is a weapon for man, without it, he would not be. He would remain unable to speak. It is the only way to speak with others, and it is the way by which we can send our messages to others. Without it, man is like a dumb animal. Proficiency over target language of vocabulary can make our students powerful speakers, handsome listeners, good readers, and writers. These 4 basic language skills are much affected by the deficiency in vocabulary of the learners. So certain attention from teachers and students is the basic need to teach and understand vocabulary. This knowledge refers conceptual understanding of words. Instruction of vocabulary makes a very important feature of any target language learning and teaching process. The level of English language learner is decided and determined by the knowledge of vocabulary. The nature of vocabulary is that vocabulary is a way post along the path of learning language. With the help of vocabulary, one can develop mastery over language. It widens the limit of one's knowledge and makes him to feel that he is a member of this living world. It increases our knowledge, understanding, and widens our views. Learning of vocabulary is the very basic point to expertise it in the target language. Vocabulary acquisition, vocabulary retention, and vocabulary transfer are some confused processes in learning vocabulary. No doubt, the role of vocabulary is very vital in order to language teaching and learning. Mastering vocabulary will make the students be able to enhance other skills as well. English has become an essential part of our culture while its vocabulary is very wide. Developing vocabulary is a key instrument in language teaching to students. Therefore, the teaching of English vocabulary is playing very vital role to make Pakistani learners to expertise in language as their target language. To get command and grasp over English vocabulary has become a major issue for the majority of Pakistani learners. Developing vocabulary is a confused series of actions to achieve results. It takes a long period of time to master an English vocabulary. It makes the learning process more meaningful. But in our traditional classrooms, vocabulary has been ignored since the most part of the 20th century. The importance of vocabulary can be shown with the help of this quote, as British linguist David A. Wilkins said, "Without grammar, very little can be conveyed, but without grammar, without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed." So, as vocabulary is central to English language teaching, and without sufficient vocabulary, students can't understand others. We can't convey a single idea without vocabulary. Vocabulary development through AV aids is an important aspect of language development. Now, I would like to move towards the impact of AV aids. Audio-visual aids. As English is a craze of upcoming and upgrowing generation, and the role of audio-visual aids is unavoidable for better learning. The students find it easier to study with AV aids to make the process of learning meaningful and stress-free. There is a positive effect of AV aids use on students' participation and motivation. They are the basic characteristics of mastering the language. The use of visual materials like pictures and charts plays a vital role for teaching vocabulary at every level. In fact, pictures and charts are the natural sources, and human beings have been relying on them since their creation. Pictures are the realistic representation of the objects represented and provide the realistic basics for teaching vocabulary. Pahuja says that vocabulary is the list of words that plays an important role in teaching learning process. The objectives of my study were to find out the role of AV in teaching vocabulary for language by the learners, to find out the factors which affect teaching vocabulary through AV to highlight the role of pictures in teaching learning situation, to facilitate the ESL learners to use vocabulary in his real life situation more confidently, to find out the methods and techniques which enhance teachers' expertise while using pictures for vocabulary development of ESL learners. Now, I would like to move towards the significance of the study. AV aids are important for improving vocabulary. The positive results of this research can support the English teachers to apply this method in developing vocabulary of their students, and even then can change their methods to make the students motivated and relaxed in teaching learning process. This study can help the students in focusing their attention, stimulating their interest, giving them real impact, making them aware, modernizing their learning and acquisition. This research is expected to be beneficial for the students, the teacher, and the institution theoretically and practically. Following were the hypotheses of my research, there is no apparent distinction between pre-test and post-test of ESL learners' performance. There is no apparent distinction between AV8's usage and learning satisfaction. There is no significant correlation between AV8's usage and learning satisfaction. Respected audience, we can't make our influence without command on English vocabulary. According to Hornby, vocabulary is total number of words which make up a language. Vocabulary is a list of group words and phrases, usually in alphabetical order. The environment of young children should be language rich, with lots of words used during interesting conversations, should be enriched by stories and explanations. If language structures make up the skeleton of language, then it is vocabulary that provides the vital organs and flesh. Vocabulary is the soul and essence of a language. Allen defines vocabulary in the following words. All the words of a language, a learner who recognizes what a word means can use other words instead of that specific word to communicate the sense related. 200 teachers and 60 students from the Government ST High School, Bahawalpur, Pakistan, participated in this study. If we talk about the research methodology, that was experimental type of research based on quantitative approach, and random sampling was done. Questionnaire for the teachers and pre-test and post-test for the students were used as a tool to collect the data from the respondents, and that is the graphic description of my pre-test and post-test control group and experimental group results, and that is the post-test results of control and experimental groups. Now I would like to move towards the table, which is based on the factors which I gathered from the teachers. First factor was that improves learning. AV8's improved learning, 95% agreed. Learn vocabulary, 85 agreed. And eliminates hesitation, 90% agreed. Fulfills current needs, 90% were agreed. And that is a convenient way. The 80% teachers were agreed on that. And that is their graphic description. Now I would like to move towards the findings and the conclusions. Respected audience, teachers and parents, cooperation in regard of sharing students' performance of the students is a way to increase vocabulary level of students. Group work and peer work stimulate the weak students in a mixed ability class. Weak students got a chance to reveal themselves, removed their shyness, and took part in all activities trustfully, which made students to depend on himself rather than teacher. There must be utmost need to develop vocabulary. So vocabulary must be given more importance in the language teaching to get command over the target language. English language teachers should use AV8s for teaching English in general and for improving vocabulary in particular. A true English language teaching must be carried out through AV8s to help the learners. Government should formulate proper education policy for introducing proper language teaching in the country. Teachers should present their lessons in an enjoyable, relaxed, and interesting way. It is necessary to introduce AV8s to make language learning meaningful and effective. Students should be encouraged and motivated to learn new vocabulary attentively and share it with their fellows. AV8s promote acquisition of vocabulary skillfully. Teachers should incorporate pictures into activities, divide students into groups, instruct each group to use the new words on the cards to perform different activities. And these were some references from which I got the help. And thanks for your patience. And any question, please? Yes, that's all from my side. Any question, please?
Sir, I want to ask one thing.
Yes, please.
Which software did you use for the questionnaire part to analyze the questions?
That was SPSS.
Okay, like if I use SPSS, I can get these graphs of agree and disagree.
Both you can get from that.
Okay.
Agree and disagree.
Okay, thank you, sir. I wanted to
You're
ask
welcome.
that.
So nice of you, ma'am.